Good evening, friends. It's been quite a long while since I've done a Saturday evening poetry reading, and so I thought that perhaps I would do that tonight, just for something a little bit different on this cold and windy evening. I thought perhaps some poems of winter might be of interest and perhaps warm our hearts even if the weather is cold. I'm going to try to read these without my glasses but it's going to be a little bit challenging. The alternative seems to be quite a lot of glare off of the frames, and I don't particularly want to impose that on you, so we'll attempt to do it without. We'll see how that goes. In any case, I have selected, as usual, 3 poems. The first one, interestingly enough, is one that I was not previously familiar with. It's called The Darkling Thrush by Thomas Hardy. And I don't think I'm going to be able to do this without the glasses. I apologize. It's a neat poem. I feel bad that I didn't know about it before now, but at least I'm glad that I've discovered it at this point. So that will be the first one, and then we will continue from there. The Darkling Thrush, Thomas Hardy. I leant upon a coppice gate when frost was spectre grey, and winter's dregs made desolate the weakening eye of day. The tangled vine stems scored the sky like strings of broken lyres, and all mankind that haunted nigh had sought their household fires. The land's sharp features seemed to be the century's corpse outlent, his crypt the cloudy canopy, the wind his death lament. The ancient pulse of germ and birth was shrunken hard and dry, and every spirit upon earth seemed fervorless as I. At once a voice arose among the bleak twigs overhead, in a full-hearted evensong of joy illimited. An aged thrush, frail, gaunt, and small, in blast-beruffled plume, had chosen thus to fling his soul upon the growing gloom. So little cause for carolings of such ecstatic sound was written on terrestrial things afar or nigh around, that I could think there trembled through his happy good-night air some blessed hope whereof he knew, and I was unaware. Interesting. Very cool, I think, at any rate. All right, so let's have another. This is one that will be familiar probably to many people. Certainly is considered a classic poem, and it is certainly one of my favorites and has been for many, many years. Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sound's the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. I love that poem, and I have certainly stopped by various woods on snowy evenings and pondered similar things, although of course it wasn't behind a horse pulling my sleigh along, as it was for Robert Frost. No snow this evening, but there are rumors that there might be some coming tomorrow night and Monday and even into Tuesday, so we shall see. We shall see. It is, after all, still February, still winter, which is why we're having this selection of poems. All right, and the last one that I am going to do tonight is one that is exceedingly appropriate for this evening. It's a cold and windy evening, not as windy as it was earlier today, or certainly as windy as it was tomorrow, tomorrow, yes. Must be getting late. It's not as windy as it was last night, but it is a cold and windy evening, and so the poem Wind Wolves by William D. Sargent seems rather appropriate for the evening. Do you hear the cry as the pack goes by, the wind wolves hunting across the sky? Hear them tongue it, keen and clear, hot on the flanks of the fleeing deer. Across the forest, mere and plain, their hunting howl goes up again. All night they'll follow the ghostly trail, all night we'll hear their phantom wail. For tonight the wind-wolf pack holds sway, from Pegasus Square to the Milky Way, and the frightened bands of cloud deer flee in scattered groups of 2 and 3. Evocative of winter as perhaps few poems that I know are. This one has always been a favorite of mine. I remember my dear late mother reading it from her big blue poetry book many a winter's night when I was growing up as a child and even as a young person. So, with that, let us conclude our poetry reading for the evening. I think it's time for me to go get some supper, and I hope that everyone has a good and safe and warm night tonight. Good sleep, good rest, and joy in the morning. Have a good night all. Take care, and God bless.